And he is Milt Lady, White Township Manager, joining us as he does on occasion to talk about items of interest for the White Township folks. Planning Commission meeting tonight, supervisors tomorrow?
That's correct, Todd.
Yeah.
Yes.
All right. Anything exciting on the agenda for the Planning Commission that you know of?
There's some developments occurring in the township. We had at the last meeting we approved a natural gas fueling station for the Indigo buses, and that's up at the corner of Getty, Salzburg, and Rose Avenue. They're going to be mostly fueling their buses and vans that run on natural gas, but the plans are to provide that fuel to the public for their vehicles also. There's no real timetable as far as the opening, but yeah, we're excited about that.
Sure. And that's a PennDOT program. And the one in Indiana, the Indigo one, is one of the few in the state that's actually going to allow the public to fuel up their cars there.
That's correct.
Yeah,
yes.
that's
so
really
that's
interesting.
Exciting.
Yeah.
Also, there's a development on the corner of Oakland Avenue and Lilac Street that's in the works. We approved the minor subdivision. There's 2 buildings proposed for that site. And also there's a development next to the Goodwill store. If you notice, there was some work done there. There was an old retaining wall for the driveway that went back to the Regency Apartments that was in disrepair. That was removed and a slope was reinstated there. But there is a development of a 4,000 square foot building on the table for tonight's meeting.
Oh, so that'll be new construction.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. So that looks good, and work continues on the retail space building across from PennDOT along Ben Franklin Road, or Indian Springs, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
And that's where the UMI Hibachi Steakhouse is going in.
Yeah. I think that's the only sign that tells us of any of the potential tenants there. Or are there
I just
others?
noticed a sign went up, I believe, a week or 2 ago for Big League Haircuts.
Oh, okay.
It looks like they're moving into that site. That's a sign. They were out at the Lowe's shopping area, but I noticed a sign there. I don't know that officially, but the sign's there.
All right. Well, that's the Planning Commission tonight. Meanwhile, you've got some flooding damage in White Township, like a lot of different municipalities do, that still needs some work on it.
Yes, it's happened over a month ago, but we still have issues, and we're still working with residents and property owners, mostly on the inspection side with camera work, where we go up pipes and all of that and try to help residents find their blockages, or a lot of times it's tree roots or a pipe's collapsed or in disrepair. It can be wastewater, or it can be their stormwater system, like downspouts, French drains, that are causing them issues. So we're still working on that list. We're getting there, but we still have some properties that we need to look at.
Now, can folks still file flood damage reports with you?
Yes, I've got several in the mail over the last week. We sent a letter out to everybody that called us with issues. We sent them a letter, encouraged them to fill out a damage report so that hopefully we can obtain grant funds in the future to help mitigate issues that we know are continually occurring in some areas. So we still encourage them to send them in. I will be tabulating them very soon.
Yeah.
So please get them in as soon as possible.
Milt Lady with us, White Township Manager, talking issues right now about flooding. Now, Myrtle Road had some damage. How extensive was that, and what's the repair schedule there?
The shoulder washed out, and it's a steep bank that goes right down into a stream. So the repair is pretty tricky. So we have requested proposals from engineering firms, and they are due at the next supervisor meeting. And they'll engineer the repair, but it's probably going to involve relocating the road, basically shifting it over, and buying some property to be able to do that.
Yeah, that's what I was wondering, is when you have a situation like that, to build up that whole embankment, and I don't know how steep it is.
It's very steep. It's almost straight down.
Yeah.
And it's probably 20 feet.
20 feet. That's an awful lot of dirt to have to move around.
Well,
So
that
if you were to move it to the away from there,
right.
there would still be some shoring up work to do on that embankment.
Yeah, that's where we're asking the engineers to tell us, should we leave the old road bed there since that's somewhat stable and leave that, not disturb that, and just shift the road and put the guide rails around it. That's what we're waiting on that report.
Okay.
We're just not quite sure how we should stabilize that bank.
Meanwhile,
at this point.
the traffic situation on that road, is it one lane?
Yeah, well, no, we have some silt barriers there in case there would be any more rains, that they wouldn't wash it even worse. It would keep the water going on down the road. So, yeah, it's narrowed, but there's not that much
You can
traffic
still get
on
through
that
there.
road.
All right. There you go. So continuing to work on some of those damages there. Road work. You've got road work scheduled.
Yes, paving, it was supposed to be started last week, but the contractor had some delays due to the rain. He got pushed back. So they're hoping to be starting tomorrow and Wednesday. Well, tomorrow's Wednesday and Thursday in the Fairfax and Heritage Oaks developments. And also then next week they'll move up to Chevy Chase, and there should be a couple of days' work up there if everything goes as planned.
Yeah, so folks should be watching out for the workers there.
Keep an eye out for the vehicles and the workers. We don't want anybody hurt.
Make sure everything is safe there. All right. Well, we continue to look at some other things that are happening in White Township, too. I know you've got some recreation issues that you're dealing with.
Yeah, we got Kennedy King Park. We had a DCNR grant to renovate that park. That involved building the pickleball courts, which you did a little story on that a couple weeks ago.
Yeah.
That was nice.
They left me a pickleball.
Did they really?
Yeah, they did. I
Have
don't
you been
know
up
if
there
they-
using it?
I don't know if they knew it, but they left me a pickleball.
But so the rest of that project was building a picnic pavilion with some picnic tables and some ADA access and added parking spaces. So that's ready to go. We're just hoping the grass takes and comes up nicely there. And we've moved down to the lower end now, and the recreation crew is putting in some more parking spaces down there, and also an ADA access walkway to the ball field. So that'll be a nice addition, and that should finish up that project.
Yeah, and I know that the dogs are pounding on your door
They
saying,
are.
when's the dog park at Getty Heights Park going to be officially ready for me?
Well, we've just been held back because of the flooding and addressing those issues. So we didn't quite get on schedule there like we had hoped, but we are still hoping to pave that walkway and get the fences up for the dog park so that they can hopefully use it this fall
Yeah,
to some extent.
Yeah.
It won't be finished, but it'll be part of the way.
yeah, it'll be on the way.
Yep.
On the way. He's Milt Lady, White Township Manager. I know for a lot of years you were out there at the S&T Bank Arena making sure everything was running so well and smoothly, and they are getting set to lay down ice again. It's hard to believe, isn't it?
Oh, the summer's flown by.
They're
Sure
laying down
has.
ice already?
Hockey season and ice skating will be back hopefully in a couple weeks. They'll start laying ice probably next week, and to get ready for some of the hockey camps like IUP in the high school. And
Now, I know a couple of years ago there were some conversions on the floor surface itself before you laid the ice in order to make that a better sheet of ice. Have there been repairs that have been necessary this year?
no, the floor's held up. We changed it from a sand-based floor to a concrete floor. It's a much quicker process now. It used to take us a whole week. With the concrete floor, the surface is painted with the lines already because they actually paint the floor white to make it look brighter. Otherwise, it's a dark gray look. But by having the floor painted, we've cut down from a week of laying ice to almost 2 to 3 days now.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so it's a
Wow.
much quicker process, and it's just a lot nicer. So they're cleaning that, getting it ready. They'll fire up the compressors next week.
Yeah, yeah. Now, the building itself, the S&T Bank Arena, it's got some age on it. How has it aged over the years? Is it holding up pretty well?
It's got some issues. This summer we tried to do some cosmetics to it. They painted the whole lobby. I know the carpeting needs some work, but we're cleaning that, getting ready for the season there. But probably our biggest couple issues are The roof,
I was going to ask you about the roof.
yes, it's got some leaks. We've done repairs, some patchwork, but we're getting quotes currently to resurface the roof with a special coating. So we've been talking to different companies and determining what our best option is there. Also, a dehumidifier. We're looking at some potential upgrades there, and they're showing their wear. We continually rebuild them every so many years to
Yeah.
keep them running, and then also our ice resurfacer. That's been there since the place was built back in '95. So
Yeah.
our guys out there, we got two great mechanics that keep that baby humming, but it's
Yeah.
showing its age. It's what 20.
27 years old.
Over 25 years old.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. Locker rooms keeping up pretty good?
they're good. We put new rubber surfacing in there, and they always take some renovation work every year.
I don't think people realize the amount of maintenance that has to go into a building like that, especially one that is built for the purposes for which it's built. I mean, maintaining an ice surface and all of the various issues that brings with it, it's a tremendous expense.
It is. There's a lot of work involved. The humidity, the moisture that's in the rink creates issues. Just the wear and tear of a recreation facility. Skates on carpet. It's gonna tear it up, and that's occurring. And the food, and it's a big building, and it gets a lot of use.
Yeah.
So
Got to do
it shows its tear. But
but you got to have good people to do it, and you've got those.
we do. We have a good staff out there.
Terrific stuff. All right, so Planning Commission tonight, supervisors tomorrow.
We're busy week.
There you go.
The paving. I hope weather looks like it's going to cooperate. So
Yeah, you ought to be good with that.
We're good
Thank
for
you,
that.
Milt, for coming in and telling us all about it.
Thank you, Todd.
Milt Lady, White Township, supervisors, Planning Commission, everybody's at work in White Township.